All right. Hello, everyone, and now welcome to a game, Sok versus XiaoKai. XiaoKai spawning as the orc player on the bottom right-hand side of the map, and spawning as the blue orc. Meanwhile, Sok spawning on the top left-hand side of the map as the yellow human. Human versus orc in a 1v1 matchup should be a great matchup. Two very recognizable names going head-to-head, and seeing what unfolds here. First 2 minutes of the game, pretty standard build. Altar of Storms, Orc Burrow. We're looking for a barracks or a lumber mill first. It will be a barracks. Well, flashing that, it will be a Blade Master coming across from a XiaoKai. Meanwhile, Sok, well, standard opening, standard build, footman. Most likely Archmage going to get trained up. Let's go ahead and get to that 2-minute mark where the game really begins. Mountain King, actually the choice hero in this matchup over the Archmage, and we'll see what shenanigans or strategies come alongside him. Perhaps a mana battery strategy with a Blood Mage second. Gonna go ahead and get things rolling here. Quick Stormbolt onto a Reef Elemental, going after those Reef Elementals first that have that medium armor, ensuring that the Militia do max damage. And those Reef Elementals also do the most amount of damage with that piercing damage against all those units while having relatively low hit points. Always a good idea to clear out that early threat early on if you can, as the Snapper gets taken down. Claws of Attack +5 picked up. Mountain King could try and turn and land a Stormbolt here. Arcane Tower nearly done, as the Wolves are ready to press on in. Alright, there goes a wolf now. Arcane Tower, is it going to be able to cover a large portion of the map? Yes, it will. Footman or Mountain King accidentally goes against all these units, and now going to go straight after the Null Warden, or perhaps try and deal, clean up this creep camp to get to level 2. Meanwhile, Farseer gives up on the harassment technique, knows that a Mountain King with 1 or 2 bullets in the chamber can easily whittle down the hit points on a Farseer, especially with a possible surround. On top of that, the Arcane Tower providing plenty of protection and coverage, as the Mountain King now sits at level 2 with a little bit of bonus mana as well. Alright, Arcane Tower finishes off one unit there, gonna finish off another wolf there. Farseer trying to get in some easy shots, easy kills. Another round getting summoned, as off to the north, the Mountain King saying, I don't really care. I'm going to go after this creep camp here, try to finish up some of these remaining creeps. Farseer looking to perhaps get in some damage. We're going to see a little bit of poking. Who gets the experience? There's a bash onto the Farseer. A little bit of bonus damage once more. There goes another peasant. So the timing on all of this is going to be key, as the Mountain King is just shy of level 2. There is a Stormbolt onto a Headhunter. Headhunter will give the Mountain King level 3, and with that, suddenly the Mountain King is a big threat with 249 mana. Mountain King gonna perhaps find that Farseer. Farseer gonna try to double back around. No, knows to not do that. Are we gonna see a Stormbolt? Why don't we see a Stormbolt, has been my question so far, as the Mountain King gonna go ahead and get a Stormbolt off on the Grunt. Surrounding on the Grunt, definitely possible that 200 hit point stun, as we're looking at a low hit point Footman now trying to retreat back. Are those Footmen going to be able to retreat back inside under the cover of these Arcane Towers? That is the question. Stormbolt onto one of those leading Spirit Wolves could be enough, as the Mountain King still has plenty of mana. We're looking at the Arcane Tower or Scout Tower, and also Expo getting summoned up here. Mountain King going to go ahead and try and pick up those Sentry Wards, come back around. That Wolf is not going to be able to finish off that peasant. Another nice lucky bash there. Farseer is sitting at level 2 after all this time. He did take down a good number of peasants throughout this battle, as the Mountain King gonna go ahead, Stormbolt, finish off a quick Headhunter there, and the Mountain King perhaps gonna have another shot in the chamber again. Alright, the Headhunters should know better than to try and cover each other's exit. They're both gonna be easily cleaned up here, as the Mountain King hunts for another Headhunter. Tech to tier 2 is done by XiaoKai. Tauren Chieftain getting trained up, a Bestiary getting added. No need for a Spirit Lodge, as we don't see this need to see Purge on any of those Shamans. Meanwhile, Sok does have that Expo up and running already, and Insomnia looking to clear things off to the north. Meanwhile, Sok still needs to build up an Arcane Vault. Going to go ahead and build up an Arcane Vault here. Mountain King perhaps going to pick up Boots of Speed in order to catch up to those targets. And, well, how is this game going to unfold next? As the Farseer is looking to get a little bit more experience, healing salve charge needing to be used once more. A Reef Elemental with apparently far enough range. If you're expecting the range of a Water Elemental, that seems just a little bit farther there, allowing for damage. Mountain King, does he spot this Farseer? Farseer down to 454 hit points. Are we going to see a Stormbolt? No, we do not. We could see the death of another Headhunter there, and the Mountain King's just picking off units, trying to get a little bit of damage going. Meanwhile, Bestiary suffering a little bit more damage. There's another Stormbolt delivering a quick death as the Mountain King could switch targets and go after another Headhunter here. Mountain King doesn't want to, overcommit to this fight, trying to bash in, perhaps get some damage onto the Tauren Chieftain and these other remaining units. Tech to Tier 2 has started. Going to be some time before we see a Blood Mage or a Paladin. My best guess is for second heroes, if they are going to be of the human alliance heredity. I think I was trying to say both and got confused. Anyways, Forest Troll Warlord going to get cleaned up here. Goblin or a Footman down to 24 hit points. He's going to retreat back. Goblin Shredder getting in a good amount of damage as the Mountain King looks to get to level 4 off of this creep camp. Going to take down the Forest Troll Warlord. Picks up a potion of greater mana. That is going to be, a large amount of mana. 3 Stormbolts, 600 damage just from flinging a hammer, point and click. Pointing and clicking with all of that damage there. Meanwhile, we are looking at more Footmen joining in, ready to get healed up. A Mountain King may use a Clarity Potion as well. Yep, there's the Clarity Potion already being used, and now the last remaining Footman here will get healed up nicely. Well, one Footman wasn't part of the heal party. A little bit of a downside or a bummer there. Off to the north, Blacksmith trying to get added in. Raiders, trying to clean things up here. Arcane Tower is not hitting the appropriate targets. There's a Shockwave ripping on through a bunch of peasants, and here we go into the engagement. Mountain King's army has not been fully healed. We're going to find a Stormbolt up against a Raider, as that should get cleaned up nicely. Mountain King does have level 2 bash. We're still looking at a little bit of damage here. Are we going to see another finish off? There you go. There is one finish off. Stormbolt against the other Raider. 2 Raiders already down. Footman trying to retreat back here. Little Pig, and getting caught up in that battle, as we're going to see a Scout Tower quickly getting cancelled from its upgrade to Guard Tower to not provide any experience. Goblin Shredder needs to be harvesting lumber. Meanwhile, Grunts are causing a little bit of damage here. There's another heal. Perhaps the lower hit point Footmen don't need to engage just quite yet, as we're looking at the Blacksmith down to 357 hit points. Mountain King could try to hold this attack off. You see a forced attack on a low hit point Footman. That Footman could try and retreat back here. One Arcane Tower is not going to be enough, as we finally see some Riflemen join in on the battle. Raider quickly getting Shockwave. Shockwave not finishing off any of those units. Mountain King still looking for some easy targets, perhaps going to try and go after a Grunt or some other unit here, as the Footmen are fighting and engaging against that Grunt back at home. All right, Mountain King gets, I believe that was a Stormbolt there. Footman going to get taken down. 1 Footman, 1 Grunt, both lost there. There's a deny, as both sides are still fighting. 39 supply compared to 33. XiaoKai is not in a good spot in terms of overall supply, trailing as Sok has the larger supply army still. Tauren Chieftain at 2, Farseer sitting at 3. It is going to be an Archmage as the second hero, oddly enough, as the Archmage picks up Mantle of Intelligence. We could see some water elementals join in on the fight, and here we are. Mountain King wants to provide support, but really can't, as the Archmage needs to get to level 2. By the Mountain King staying here, he's actually going to be taking experience away from the Archmage, which will, make things more problematic. All right, inbound Scroll of Town Portal. Raiders are trying to ensnare down to those peasants, but unable to stop the repairs on that Blacksmith enough. All right, we should also be looking at perhaps more peasants being trained at the expo, finishing up all of the repairs on this Blacksmith and finish building up this farm. Expo by Sok now being slowly built as well. We're looking at XiaoKai trying to clear up this 3 o'clock expansion, perhaps get to level 3 Shockwave on that Tauren Chieftain. But that Tauren Chieftain, even with a Pendant of Energy, has quite a bit of ways to go before it has enough mana to really, well, bring out the best. Couple of easy quick kills there. Archmage still shy of level 2, and that's going to be the problem as the Mountain King quickly goes for a Tome of Retraining and opts for level 2 Thunderclap, level 2 Stormbolt. As the Raiders try to get into position there, that Thunderclap damage does add up quickly. Add on top of that the damage mitigation with the slower attack speed, and things do get interesting here. As the Archmage does aggro those creeps and then ends up getting ensnared right at the corner. A very uncomfortable position. And now, well, XiaoKai perhaps has a chance to punish Sok here as we see a Thunderclap Chain Lightning Stomp go, no, that was a Thunderclap Shockwave Chain Lightning as the Archmage finally gets up to level 2 and now does have Brilliant Aura. Alright, finding a Stormbolt on a low hit point Raider. Mountain King gets up to level 5. Level 5 go opting for level 3 Thunderclap as the Archmage looking to clear out the remainder of the creep camp with the Mountain King far away. Archmage wants to get to level 3, perhaps even opting for level 2 Brilliant Aura over level 2, level 2 Brilliant Aura over level 2 Water Elementals. Mountain King still has a Potion of Mana, still has, and now also took a Wand of Mana Stealing. That's going to be incredibly important as he can take away a Shockwave from the Tauren Chieftain while giving himself mana if necessary. Mountain King going to come across inside here. We're going to see this Orc Burrow taking a lot of damage. Are we just looking at a base trade as the Raiders are trying to put pressure here, perhaps trying to take down this Blacksmith. Blacksmith holding steady at 300 hit points. Sok didn't take the time to repair this Blacksmith, and well, that's why it falls so quickly. It was down to 400 hit points to start with, so with the larger surface area, well, with the larger surface area, it was just easily exposed to all of that damage there. One more attack. Is the Mountain King going to be able to do it? No. That Raider able to get away. Little bit of a misstep, a mistake right there. Not repairing that Blacksmith when he had the opportunity. Well, refill the holes and the cracks in your wall in between battles. Well, and that wall falls. We are at, well, we are not going for reinforced defenses. Mountain King Archmage still making its way down. A couple of easy shots. That's just easily going to get resummoned. Archmage is at level 3, does opt for level 2 Brilliance Aura first, as the Mountain King going to come across here, perhaps finish off a couple of these peasants. There's a slow clap right there, making sure that the peons aren't able to jump inside that Orc Burrow. Meanwhile, Scroll of Town Portal is available on the Archmage for a quick escape. More units going to get cleaned up here. Here we have it once more. The Blacksmith once more being has been rebuilt. Level 3 on the Tauren Chieftain now means level 2 Shockwave coupled with level 1 Chain Lightning equals a lot of dead peasants, as Militia now being called over. Inbound Scroll of Town Portal, Shockwave now trying to rip through, and now in comes this fight here. One Raider gets taken down. Are we going to see a Stormbolt or onto a Grunt perhaps to try and finish things off? There's a Stormbolt onto that Grunt, and this Grunt will get finished off here. Alright, repairs are in order. Sok gonna, well, resaturate this gold mine in just a second. Where is the Goblin Shredder? Back at the main base, as we're just looking at repeat rinse strategy. XiaoKai is actually losing in the hit and run tactic against human as his expo gets lost. Archmage, well, going up against all these gargantuans, this gargantuan sea turtle creep camp Spellbreaker taking quite a bit of damage, but remember has medium armor, so takes less damage from piercing, which is the majority of this creep camp, save for that gargantuan sea turtle. Goblin Zeppelin dropped inside the main base here. I do not believe Sok was ready for this. There is one guard tower, one arcane tower. That is it. Goblin Shredder quickly getting taken down. Level 4 Farseer, mounting level 3 Tauren Chieftain nearing level 4. There's a Shockwave ripping on through as the Mountain King may try and, well, get some thunderclaps here, slow some of that damage. Where is the Goblin Zeppelin to try and, well, stop this tactical retreat? Guard tower here, is it going to find that Goblin Zeppelin? No, it is not. It is hiding above the tree line. Back other side here, well, this Great Hall could get cleaned up. One peon gonna, well, end up getting shot in the back while trying to repair his Great Hall here, as a couple of raiders could finish off this, finish off these riflemen. Meanwhile, down to the south side, Tauren Chieftain just shy of level 4, 56 supply compared to 43. Sok, needs to find a way to heal back up and stay safe, but that a drop mentally, into his base, makes him a much more cautious when trying to follow up these fights. All right, a couple of peons here. Mountain King sitting at level 5, trying to take down the Great Hall. There are peons attempting to repair here. Are they going to be able to all repair in time? No, they are not. They're not even bothering, as we see the main army ready to put pressure onto the main base. All right, main base, it looks like there is pillage, and this is one of the things that Orc does best, these hit and run tactics, because constantly causing problems. Dual arcane towers, one guard tower trying to protect here, as we're looking at a scroll of town portal now inbound. Are these units just going to fall back? Yes, they are. Are we looking at a storm bolt or anything to finish off a unit? Wow, that one raider escaping with its life ever so barely. All right, yeah, this raider down to 44 hit points ends up surviving. Healing salves once more, trying to get healed back up, as Sok holding on to this game. 45 supply compared to 41, and now the main gold mines starting to run a bit low. With less than 5 minutes of mining available from the main bases, and still plenty of mining available at this expo, XiaoKai needs to take a pivotal win in this battle. Otherwise, he's going to end up falling further and further behind. We can see that the Tauren Chieftain Farseer clearing up the remainder of this Dragon Turtle creep camp. The Dragon Turtle... Oh, was it a Dragon Turtle or Gargantuan Sea Turtle? Let me double check. Oh, Gargantuan Sea Turtle. Alright, so Gargantuan Sea Turtle left behind there. Where is the fight gonna go down to next? In comes the Orc army. Archmage gonna check, sees that there is an expo currently under construction. Quickly force a cancellation. Where is the Mountain King though? Mountain King is back at home. There's a Thunderclap able to slow down all of these attacks. And with this much slower attack, Mountain King still has a Potion of Mana. There's a big Shockwave. There's a massive Thunderclap again. And the Mountain King, does have a Potion of Mana, could try and Storm Bolt down some units, able to find another raider there, and able to stop all of that action. Meanwhile, the Mountain King needs to make his way back south. Archmage, split up the attacking party and took down the expo, and now is putting pressure onto the main base. There is the leave of game. Leave of game there. XiaoKai being forced to leave the game. Sok coming away with the victory. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.